Welcome back to SportSense. This is the sports show for sports noobs. I'm Cooper Epps, and I'm here with my dad.
I'm James Epps.
All right, I'm Keaton Epps.
I'm Casey Epps.
I'm Chris.
I'm CJ.
It's time to get some SportSense. You're gonna get some SportSense. You better get ready for SportSense. SportSense.
Holy cow, it is a family night. We're coming off Christmas, and it only felt right to get the crew together. These are the men and boys that have taught me about sports my whole life, including CJ, which, CJ, tell us how old you are.
9.
Holy cow. Okay, well, so from the mouth of babes, as they say, right, CJ?
I don't get that.
It means that even as young as you are, you're going to teach me tonight about sports. Well, so glad to have you guys. So we're missing a couple brothers and brother-in-laws, but this is most of the group known in my phone as the Epps Sports group chat. You guys are constantly sending little tidbits of news and fun facts and sometimes controversial things that are discussed. Most of the time, I participate 0 to 1%. And yeah, I usually don't know what's going on. So I thought it'd be fun to have an episode where we just say, hey, here's what you guys have been sending lately. Can you explain it to me? And so a little bit of a different episode for us. And just want to say welcome. When people are listening to this, it'll be New Year's Eve. So we're welcoming in 2025. It's going to be a great year. Can't wait to give you all some great new episodes. So with that, Dad, anything you need to start us off with tonight?
Well, just a quick catch up on a couple of things you and I mentioned last week. Well, it was just a few days ago, but yeah, the only one thing I got to correct myself. Well, I don't want to get there yet, but real quick, the game's on Christmas Day. What I said, the NBA quote was, do you remember how many games I said the NBA will be having versus the NFL? NFL rarely has.
Didn't you say there were going to be 11 games?
Yeah, so it's a big
Christmas
day. There's Christmas all across the league. Well, the interesting part is the NFL is starting to try to creep into and take the audience and take the space from the NBA. Of course, they just had Netflix show, which 2 games we talked about. We talked about the Chiefs and the Chiefs and the Steelers and the Ravens and the Texans. Interesting enough, it was the largest streaming audience for a sporting event. I guess Netflix before has tried it on other live events and have had their struggles, but apparently this time they pulled it off pretty smoothly. They were better prepared for the audience. So it was great. Yeah.
Can you just say that in a whole sentence? What was the biggest streaming? What game was the biggest streaming event?
So it's the largest live sporting event streamed. Was the Chiefs?
Sorry.
Was the Chiefs Steelers game? And what was interesting, what you and I talked about, how many games? Do you remember how many games the Chiefs have won by a touchdown or less? They had broken a record.
I remember we talked about the record. Was it like 10 games?
13 games. It was crazy,
Holy
right?
cow.
They won but this time they won by 19 points. They pretty well manhandled the Steelers 29-10. So that was interesting. It was a big game. It was great. Travis Kelce broke Tony Gonzalez's touchdown record with the Chiefs. That was pretty cool. He celebrated by slam dunking it over the goal post, which won't mean much to you, but that was Tony Gonzalez's move. He was a great basketball player.
Oh, cool.
And they got a 15-yard penalty for it, but he said it was worth it. Anyway, so that was interesting. So all I was going to say, and by the way, Ravens crushed Texans. Interesting thing happened, though, you might want to know. Lamar Jackson broke the rushing TD record for a career. He broke Michael Vick's record in that game. So that's pretty cool. That's big. That's really big. Cool. But interesting, the pressure I think the NBA is feeling. Their largest star, LeBron James, came out after the game and said, Christmas is our day. So he's feeling the heat from the NFL, right? He's feeling the heat. So he had to make a statement that Christmas is the NBA's day. But I laughed because the NFL is creeping in. They're gonna give them more than they can handle on Christmas Day. But that's really about it from the NFL, from the pros of what we had talked about before about the games coming up.
Let's hope Lamar Jackson doesn't get in any sort of dog-related trouble. Am I right?
You're right, and you can keep that on this podcast if you want, but we're not going to go there. But yes, I don't think he follows that same.
Hopefully there's not a correlation between quarterback excellence and doing bad things with dogs.
Michael Vick. There's Michael Vick news this week. He got hired as a Division I head college football coach this week. So.
Oh wow!
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa! For who?
Norfolk State. I think they're an FCS program. Still pretty big news.
Which comes from, his hometown is Virginia Beach, so he's right. That's his home territory.
Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah, he'll be able to be a great recruiter in that area. I think it's a great move for him. That's neat.
Are we all past the dog stuff? Like we've forgiven him now?
I don't know. I guess I'll probably get killed by this, but I think he did. He got punished a lot more for a lot less than what a bunch of other people and big names out there have done and have gotten away with. He didn't get away with anything. They seem to really take him to, I don't know, they fulfill the fullest extent of the law against him for what he did and made it seem to be like he was fighting humans against each other. I don't know. I know dog fighting is not good.
No.
Which, hey, I mean, we gather in Vegas all the time for human v humans. Am I right?
I think what Keaton says is accurate. I think there's been many who've gotten off with very little. It's getting more and more accountability now, but even on abuse of women, things like that.
Yeah.
There's some guy. I mean, there's some.
I feel like Deshaun Watson is one of those names out there right now.
Gosh, yeah.
One of the largest contracts in the NFL, but he has 28 allegations.
Anyway, I'm kind of a Michael Vick fan. Yeah, despite and he keeps pushing and I think trying to do good. And he fessed up to his mistakes, and I think he's made good on it since. So and
think of how long that's been, Keith.
I know, yeah.
Years and years, he's been a huge, avid supporter now of all things animal rights and helping them. Anyway, he's
okay. Good.
I think he has a great redemptive story. Actually.
That would be a fun story, I think, for a deep dive into Michael Vick, because I think a lot of it is remembered for the dogs, and he's done so much since then.
I know, it just shows again how little I've been in touch with sports stuff for the past decade plus. Because to me, that's like, that's the last thing I heard about him, and easy to make a joke about it or whatever.
I think Lamar Jackson, by the way, passed his rushing yards record. I don't know about touchdowns, but
I think it was.
That's what you said, Dad.
Rushing yards. Yeah.
I know his rushing yards.
Oh,
sure.
Because I think 6,801 was the previous record by Michael Vick, and then I think Lamar Jackson.
It might be it probably is both, but
I'm pretty sure his TD was on that 48-yard run. TD, I think that's where.
I know it was yards too, so he might have surpassed both in the game, which is pretty incredible because he's only like 20. I don't know, Lamar Jackson, 26, 27.
27, I think. Yeah.
So he's super young. Yeah, he's incredible.
He's the new broken character in video games.
Do what?
Did you lose in your fantasy playoffs? Because that's the quarterback I drafted for you, was Lamar Jackson.
No, I won my last game.
Okay, so you're still going?
Yeah, I'm still going.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's been a great quarterback for my fantasy team.
Oh, yeah.
He's been a great combination. Him and Saquon.
You got Saquon? Are you kidding?
I drafted.
So
and drafted. I don't know who I was drafting against, but it was low competition.
That's crazy. Yeah, to get both of those.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I just saw your cat sneak by, Casey. So he's out and about.
Yeah, she's all over right now.
All right, Coop, bring us back in.
Okay, yeah, no, that was great. Honestly, really fun to talk about all that stuff. So thanks for bringing up those great points. Okay, well, let's dig into our group chats, questions and things I wanted to talk about tonight. So I wanted to start out. We have our esteemed, honorable guest of the senior child age of 9 years old. You're like not quite teenager, but you're senior child. CJ, I had a question for you specifically. Dad mentioned, I think it was last week, that BYU is going to go up against Colorado in a bowl game. Could you tell us a little bit about that? And what is your opinion on it? Who do you think is going to win that one?
I think BYU is going to win, not just because I really like them, but they've won more games, even though they have the Heisman? Even though Colorado has the Heisman board, but BYU was just ranked higher than them. Just ranked higher.
Oh, like just recently, you mean?
Right now, yeah, they're ranked. I think BYU's 17 and Colorado's 23.
Okay.
So
cool.
But I do think BYU's the underdog in this game, if I remember.
By Vegas, by 4 points.
And you're saying that the Heisman winner is on the Colorado team, CJ?
Yes.
Okay, so the person who's been deemed the best player in college football or most valuable in college football this season is up against BYU. So that's a little intimidating. Does that make you nervous at all?
No, because we have Chase Roberts and Jacob Retzloff.
So Jake Retzloff is the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Who's the other one? Roberts.
Chase Roberts is a wide receiver.
Oh, okay. Cool. So
and who's BYU's running back right now too? Because I know he's pretty good.
No, LJ Martin is their leader.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they've got a good stable. They've got Hinckley Rapati, who's a really good running back, and then they've got another guy, Moa, who they've got 3 backs that can come in and get some yards. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, CJ's dad, what do you think? Do you think BYU has an honest chance?
I think they have an honest chance. I think that BYU they can have an explosive offense when they need to. The problem is they go through dry spells. But I also don't think, and I could be wrong, I haven't looked it up, so don't hold me to it. I don't think Colorado's defense is as explosive or as good as their offense. And I think they just outscore all their other opponents. And so that's my hope, is that BYU can just keep up.
Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, it sounds like the spark of hope is alive in this group.
Yeah.
That's great. When is that game? Is that Saturday?
Saturday.
Oh, so this episode will actually come out after that. Okay, shoot. Well,
Saturday.
Hopefully, we're going to release this next Monday, I think. So, or maybe we'll do it a little early. I don't know. But anyways, okay. Well, cool. Well, thanks, CJ. That was my big question for you. Really appreciate your insight. Let's move into the group text. So I got our group text pulled up right here. There's been a few things that seem interesting as far as breaking news in the sports world goes, and I just am not sure what it means. So, Keaton, you're in the hot seat first. You recently said you sent this a bunch of images saying NC State basically transfer portaled an entire offensive line.
Yeah.
And he sent a bunch of screenshots of different people, and it says committed to NC State.
Yes.
What's the story there?
So do you know what the transfer portal is?
Nope. Let's start with that.
The transfer portal is basically, I agree and commit, and a commitment hardly means nothing nowadays. It used to mean I'm committing to NC State. You're going to be there for a while, and it's kind of hard to get out. Nowadays, no, you are a free agent, and you can enter the transfer. You can put your name into the transfer portal. I can't remember what time of year, but it's right after the regular season ends. So before bowl games and before playoffs, you can put your name into the transfer portal. And as soon as it opened, within the first few days, there were one of my coaching buddies texting me, and there were several thousand names in the portal already, basically saying, I'm a free agent. You can find me. My film's out there. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say if you're interested in me. I want to leave my school. For whatever reasons. That's what the transfer.
It's kind of like when you go on LinkedIn and put the open to work thing on your profile picture.
Yep, they're looking to go for whatever reasons. Usually playing time. They want more playing time. They want to shine, or they want to be on a winner, and or maybe their coaching staff left and they want to go somewhere else. Yeah, there's a slew of reasons. But yeah, very interesting.
Money being one of them now.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing too. But just a comparison to when I played. And this is how I played for a rinky-dink podunk Division III team called Southern Virginia. And I used 2 years of eligibility there, and I still had 2 years left. And I graduated. So I was a graduate, and I had 2 years left to play. And I had so much red tape I had to go through to be able to go transfer somewhere else. It was going to be incredibly hard. It was hard for me to transfer. I had to get a waiver. And then I had to get a release to allow me to talk to other schools, and other schools had that release signed, and I can't remember if it was notarized or whatever it was before they could talk to me. And these were Division II schools and a couple of Division I schools, but there was a lot that had to be done before me, the most unknown entity in all college football, could talk to anybody. I couldn't send I couldn't do anything, and they couldn't talk to me. They weren't allowed to talk to me. And but now there's these guys making $10 million a year, and they could be like, you know what, I want to go somewhere else this year, enter transfer portal, and then there's nothing inhibiting them at all.
Sure.
So it shows
so
you
you're
how
saying
much
like
changed. The NCAA it was a how do you say it? Totalitarian,
Totalitarian.
there you go, totalitarian power, and basically ruled the athlete's life to zero app control in a year. And I mean, it was a build up to this happen, but you could hardly do anything. There's a famous Mike and Mike story where players, they could go and eat plain bagels, but if they got cream cheese put on those bagels, that was breaking the NCAA recruiting violation or something like that, and they and have sanctions thrown against their team or whatever for that. And so they went from that to millions of dollar contract deals to being able to transfer willy-nilly just on the spot. So it's been crazy. So yeah, NC State said, instead of saying, hey, we need to recruit, our O-line sucked this year, we need to recruit really well in high school, they said, hey, let's go to the transfer portal. Oh, he played at North Carolina A&T, a smaller school. He was really good. We're going to take him. He's a proven college player. We're going to go Utah State. This guy's in the transfer portal. He'll talk to us, and we have a connection there. He's going to come here. And so they transfer portaled a whole O-line instead of getting high schoolers there to develop them up. And basically those O-linemen, probably all of them that I sent on that text are going to come start right away.
Yeah. Like they're good.
Yes. Yeah. They're proven entities. Yeah.
Wow. Well, is that good news for NC State?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's so much better for them. It's bad news for high schoolers and other kids on smaller levels trying to get recruited.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's all like, if it makes NC State turns that team into a team of winners next year, then that makes it more attractive for people to aspire to play for them. So it all maybe contributes to the cause in a way, right?
Yeah, and a few teams flipped around everything. Colorado was one of them a couple of years ago, but through this transfer portal, flipped a terrible team around into a powerhouse contender, just almost solely through the transfer portal. Arizona State was one. Colorado, like I said. Indiana just lost in the college football playoff the first round. Their whole team was filled with transfer portals. They went from terrible, sucky team, new coach, 30-plus transfers to 11-1 teams or 12-1 teams. So kind of crazy how it works nowadays.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty amazing that a few years ago, all it took to be a bad boy, to get bad boy status with the ladies, was put cream cheese on your bagel. That's kind of cool. Man, now you're going to have to do, who knows what you got to do, what kind of depraved things you have to turn to just get that bad boy status.
You see where Cooper's mind goes. We have these talks all the time. I said, well, Cooper, where did you even come up with that through our conversation? But anyway, he loses his train of thought. We start talking details of sports. Cooper just goes somewhere over there. And then he comes back to it with that analogy.
Well, it is I mean, that rule is crazy.
Oh, no, it was
so
insane.
Interesting.
It was insane. The key is how fast it ultimately swung, like Keith said. But
well, cool. That's really insightful, and it'll be interesting to pay attention to NC State next fall and see what happens. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna move it along to something else. So I know Casey has thoughts on this. We've played some Rocket League recently and discussed the Carolina Panthers. And but this is open to the council. So CJ, Chris, Keaton, everybody. Keaton, you texted the other day saying Panthers are killing me. We need Travis Hunter. So I think I know what this is about, but yeah, Casey, and again, jump in, who wants to jump in, but Casey, start to explain to me what's going on. What would prompt Keaton to text such a thing?
Right. So I think Keaton was also the one who sent in that group chat that the Panthers are now 7th in the draft line. And the reason we kind of want them to lose right now and be the worst team is so that we can be higher up on that. And Travis, what's his last name again?
Hunter.
Yeah, so he's a defensive back for Colorado, right?
And a
cornerback. Oh, and a receiver. Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's the guy that won the Heisman. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, personally, I think he could be either for the Panthers right now and be a really good pick. I'm sure he'll get swooped up before we can get to him. Hopefully not. But yeah, us being 7th now, because we've actually won a few games, don't know where it came from, but we have. Yeah, it just means that it's going to take a little longer for us to get a good player. Plus, I
Gotcha.
think we traded a 2025 pick too for Bryce Young, right? Or was that just 2024?
Not a first round 2025.
No, but a second round, right?
Second, I don't know what it was, but it was on the
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways,
I saw a meme the other day of like it was like a cartoon of several teams like crying or like crossed out or something, like, and the Panthers were like, I don't know, it was like one of those, it was almost like a classic cartoon where it was like the Panther had like killed these other teams or whatever. And so yeah, how many games have they been winning lately?
one in the past since the Giants, I think.
I don't know.
So-
I'll have to find this. I made it, whatever I saw made it look like they had won like 3 or 4 times in a row or something. Like
No,
they've been like upsetting people.
I wish. I think we had one win with Andy Dalton, and then Bryce has somehow pulled out a few other wins through the season.
They're 4, right? They won 4.
Yep. So now they're at 4-11.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're just good enough to like. So okay. So you're saying that they're playing just well enough to like not be earning like top draft picks for next season, but
right,
bad
The worst
enough to
place
still
be
be
when
really
you
bad.
want to be when you want to build a team, right? Is to be just good enough, right?
Yeah.
You want those good. You want to fail epically, not like this.
right. And so I think Keaton's whole point was that he wants the Panthers to play competitively, but he doesn't want them to win the game at the end.
But
So-
they're
so-
wanting to win just
Well,
because
so-
that's their job, right?
Yeah, let's do a
Well-
quick take on that. A quick take on that is the players, many of the players are playing for their jobs. They're playing for their professional lives, and so are some of the coaches. They're trying to coach their butts off. So, and you don't want any team to just lay down. It's more of a fan saying that, and maybe a general manager, maybe an owner having those feelings. But those guys truly are playing for their next job. So a lot of them might be even auditioning for another team because they might get traded this year, or they might be at the end of their contract, they might get cut, and they're having to put put really good plays, the best plays they can on film, right? So the next year or the next time, if they get bounced from the Panthers or somebody wants to trade for them, that they're keeping their professional dream alive. So I think that's what happens a lot of times, and then we up and go out and win. We got too many of those guys playing hard and playing like that. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's all.
Well,
That's
all
great.
that being said, as a Panthers fan, it's really nice to see a win every once in a while.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I remember as a Hurricanes fan, they struggled for so many years after that, after their Stanley Cup win in the 2000s. So yeah, I didn't understand how it all worked out. But for years, I would just hope that they would win a little bit more. And I think, like you said, you got to go through that slump where you can build. And they were able to get some really great players like Sebastian Aho, who now is like, one of our top players. And
Right.
so, and now they've been doing really well for the past few years
And then they got a great coach to go with some of that talent.
for sure.
Brendan
So
was awesome, but-
Is that pretty much the story of any sports franchise? Is that you're building and then you play really well. You're maybe even a dynasty for a few years, and then just players age out, they get injured, whatever. You slump back down, and then you have to go into kind of some terrible team building years until you can get back on the top of the hump again. Is that pretty much how it is for every team in sports?
Why don't you let Keaton answer that? Because there's money involved, there's contracts involved.
I'd say there are exceptions to that, but generally speaking, yes. But the great organizations out there find a way to maneuver around, and this is a can of worms, but yeah, salary caps and they can do that. But there's some organizations out there that just always win. Like, and it seems like the Packers are always winning. We'll stick football, but the Packers, the Steelers, the Patriots for so many years, not anymore. But there's usually a head coach and a quarterback connection. If those two are really good, your team's going to be pretty good. And then you have to have a good GM, such as a general manager who is in charge of drafting the players and personnel and getting free agents to sign on. But there's a lot of salary work. But there's some excellent organizations that make really good decisions and are consistent. And I'd say it's more of an organizational structure, because there's some teams that just always win. They're always there in the hunt. The Ravens are always there. And then the Chiefs have been forever now too. So they've had a quarterback head coach combo. But yeah, those are, I think, some important factors into it, just talking football here. But yeah, the organization, the people behind it, and how good they are really are what matters, because you do have to go through those slumps. And you got to maneuver very smartly and strategically during those slump years, whatever those are.
Yeah.
So the opposite of that is true. There's some horrible organizations,
Really
apparently.
bad.
And I think the owner has a lot to do with that. So but there's some bad ones who just can't figure out how to draft, how to do contracts, the owner gets too busy in it. So you kind of have both extremes, and then you got some in the middle that follow more of a pattern, like you just mentioned.
Okay. Well, cool. No, that's really interesting. I guess that's just something you catch from years and decades of keeping up with all of it. But generally, there has to be an ebb and flow. I mean, there's always winners and losers, right? So if some people are on the up, others have to be on the down.
Yeah, and you have to hit on your draft picks too, and that's what some of the great organizations do. Is their late round draft picks, or their not free agent. They're what's it called? They're undrafted players that they sign. They hit on those. Like right now, do you know who the quarterback for the 49ers is, Cooper?
I should, because I've got some friends who are huge fans, but I'm not sure.
So
who is it?
Yeah, Brock Purdy. And
oh yeah, never heard that in my life.
His draft nickname, every year there's one called Mr. Irrelevant, and it's the very last pick of the draft, and he was. And he's probably, there's a lot of debate, but he's, like top 10 quarterbacks in the league, and he's getting paid like $900,000 this year, and there's other quarterbacks out, and he's really good for that $900,000. And there's other quarterbacks getting paid $50 million, $55 million, and so those organizations that draft really well, especially at the latter end, that can help curb those slumps if they draft well.
Cool. Okay. Well, and yeah, because I've been hearing good things about the Niners this season, right?
Yeah.
No,
aren't they doing okay?
This week, Coop.
Yeah.
You're a year behind, but that's okay.
Okay.
That's why we do this, Coop. They had a lot of injuries this year, and they're struggling right now.
Good.
Yeah, right off the bat, Christian McCaffrey just wrecked his leg. He was a former Panthers running back, helped take him to the Super Bowl, and we all love Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. Yes, I have heard his name. Didn't he go to the Chargers? And now he just went from the Panthers to the Niners?
Correct.
I thought I remember seeing him in blue. I don't know who I'm thinking of.
The Panthers.
Jared Goff. I saw somebody in a documentary with Jared Goff. Who was a running back with Jared Goff? That maybe sounds like Christian McCaffrey. Are there any sound-alikes names? Sound-alike names? All right, we'll just drop that. All right, whatever. That's why we're here. Like, that's okay. Well, we're at our mark, so I just wanted to bring up something because you guys never responded to my text about this, so this is my retribution, is bringing it up here. I thought I had a pretty juicy little story here, pretty funny story.
And nobody responded?
Yeah, I sent this article last week. NBA's Charlotte Hornets brutally tricked a kid into thinking he won a PlayStation 5. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah, they ended up fixing it, but yeah, I saw that.
Just while we're on the thread of North Carolina's teams, this was pretty crazy.
Terrible North Carolina teams.
Yeah, a lot. Exactly. So, anyway, yeah, did you hear about this, Dad?
Only from you. It's
okay.
Not on my radar generally.
Just they did one of those mid-game, or, that I don't know if it was during a timeout or what, but told some kid that he won a PS5 for, I don't know what he did, shot a hoop or threw this thing or that. And then, so they gave it to him like on camera. And then apparently after they were all in the hallways or whatever off court and cameras were off him, they took it back and gave him like I can't remember what I read, like a small gift card or something instead. And I don't know who broke the story, but somebody broke the story. And Charlotte has apologized, said they're going to give him the PS5 and all this stuff. But I know you guys are going to a game, in a few weeks, right?
In March.
Oh, okay, a few months.
You want the Hornets to win?
What?
Grandpa, do you still want the Hornets to win?
I've got to pull for my home state team. Yes.
Oh,
Who are they playing?
the
Who do you?
Warriors.
Look at the
The
jersey on.
Jazz. Oh, okay.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Oh, the Warriors. Sorry.
So I'm taking the boys and their dads to that game. So
That'll
Well,
be
I just
neat.
want to
that
say,
that was a Christmas present.
yeah, just be careful of any offers of any gifts to
Oh,
kids while you're there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a class move, and it's I don't even. That thing just needs to be buried. I don't want to. That's. I hope they don't ever do anything
Yeah.
that stupid again. But that's so glad you found that. Brought
I'm
that
sure there's
forward.
more because I'm sure people have enough comment. I don't know how that happened. So,
I
but
don't
funny
either.
story. Google it if you want to learn more. With that, let's move into our closing arguments, if you will. CJ, were you able to get a trivia question to try to stump your grandpa?
I think so.
Okay.
I
Well,
think you'll know one of them.
well. Hey, you got to say the official thing. Say, can you say, Grandpa, it's time for Pop's quiz?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, you have to. Yes, you have to announce it.
Grandpa, it's time for Pop's quiz.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Give it to me. Let's go.
Who are the two famous players on the Warriors?
Too famous. Steph Curry. Well, there's a couple. Who's still there? Draymond Green.
I told you did it. You thought there was no way in the world you would get Draymond Green.
PJ, did you see what
I'll let-
Draymond Green did yesterday?
Oh.
No,
Uh-oh.
I only got to watch the first quarter.
He
And
did,
then we
a,
turned on Christmas
he
break.
did a really silly move. You'll have to go look it up.
What did you do?
We'll go watch it.
No, what did you do? Tell me.
He did
Yeah,
a
you say-
WWE move. He's notoriously cheap
Hot-headed.
Scottish. Yeah, he takes cheap shots.
I think I have heard of that.
Stomps
Yeah.
on
And he's a
people.
powerful man.
Yeah. Anyway, he had two guys boxing him out, and he wrapped his arms in between theirs, and then laid back and dropped his legs. He put his legs up, and he dropped them both to the ground. It was like a WWE move. Yeah.
What?
Oh,
He
no.
caught
Like-
us out.
I don't know. I didn't see that part. I just saw. I hope you'll have to go
Was this
look it
during-
up.
Was this like mid game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. Wow. He's a nut. Yeah, he's crazy.
The Warriors
Okay.
almost won with a full court shot.
Wait, what'd you say,
Yeah,
CJ?
I said the Warriors almost won with a full court
Almost.
shot from Steph
Oh
Curry.
man.
But the Lakers
Oh.
won.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
With a
Oh yeah,
layup.
that's a big matchup.
With a layup.
Wow. Well, did
Yeah.
you say you had another question to give Grandpa?
No.
No.
No. Okay. All right.
That's
well,
good.
great.
Hey, I need to go out a winner. Don't let anybody else ask questions.
All right. Well, do you have one for me tonight, Dad?
Well, yeah. You hadn't let Casey say much. You got Casey or Keaton? Anything else? Do you have any more of their? I thought you had good stuff on your phone. But anyway,
I
Casey,
think
you got any parting words?
No, I don't think I have anything left.
I think you both might have something to say here. So yeah, Coop, let's cover real quick the brackets. You know how I went
Oh,
back
yeah.
and found my bracket on CFP. So we've been talking a lot of CFP. And that's what's coming.
football
Quarterfinals are this
playoffs.
weekend. So we'll do this real quick so you can have a blurb on this. I blew it. I had to go for one. I want to do something different. I went for one upset. You know, I taught Cooper, you know, he knows what chalk is now. I said, you know, chalk. So I didn't go, the one I didn't go chalk on just got smoked, and I should have known. But I picked Indiana and upset Notre Dame.
Oh.
Man, Notre Dame, it looked like looking at Notre Dame's lines versus Indiana's lines. They didn't look like the same level players to me. I mean, they just manhandled Indiana. But
Oh.
anyway, got the other winners. That wasn't bad. But this week, Coop, here's the good ones. I'll let everybody chime in real quick, I think we ought to do this real quick. All right, everybody get ready to chime in on who you think is going to win. All right, Texas, we'll go around. I'm looking at my screen. Go Casey, CJ and Chris, Keaton, and then Coop. All right, let's go with Texas versus Arizona State. Go Case. Win or
Oh,
loser.
I think Texas all the way on that one.
Okay. See, Arizona State.
State.
Okay.
Yeah, Arizona State.
All right, Keeter.
I think Texas is going to win, but it's going to be a lot closer than people think because we saw that running game, and I don't know how you stop Cam
Scattaboo. What's his name? Scattaboo?
Scattaboo. He's going to get 4 yards to carry at least and bleed lots of clock, and it's going to be a different game. But
For that reason, I know you're picking. For that reason, I picked Arizona State in my bracket. That was my next level upset.
We got an extra week of rest, and Texas had 3 offensive linemen injured. I think all of them, the one's coming back. So, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm pulling for Arizona State.
All right.
So Scadaboo is a player for Arizona State.
Running back. We could not stop him. Oh, I thought we did pretty well, actually, kind of. But God, he's
You mean
unbelievable.
we as in BYU?
BYU. Mm-hmm. On the game that really mattered. All right, Coop, who are you picking? All right, Tejas. Next game, Ohio State and Oregon. All right, Casey.
I want to say Oregon on that one just because I like when Ohio State loses.
Me too, but okay. Chris, CJ.
Oregon.
Picking a bunch of guys I don't want to win, but I think Ohio State's going to run away with it.
All right, Coop.
I really don't know, but just all my Oregon fans, all my friends who are Oregon fans seem so intimidated by the matchup and so grumpy about it. It sounds almost like certain that Ohio State's going to take it.
I think the reason is, Cooper, they've already played this season, and Oregon already won, and it's hard to beat a team twice. I think that's
they beat them by 1. That was it.
Great game.
Sadly, because I'm really worried about this. Sadly, I picked Oregon on this one. That's what I picked. I believe Ohio State's going to win now that I look at both these teams.
They look scary.
All right, next game.
Last weekend, Ohio State.
I know. That's what threw me off. Anyway, all right, Case, Penn State, Boise State.
Oh, man. Speaking of running backs, Boise State's running back is wild. So I think I might just have to say Boise on that. But Penn, it would be a big upset. I was about to say, but Penn should control that one for the most part.
But Boise State had the bye. So they had another rest period.
They've had rest. And
all right, CJ.
That'll be a good one.
I don't like Penn State, but I think they're going to win.
Oh, it's probably a good call. All right, Keeter.
I'm going to go with Boise in this one.
There you go.
You got a knack for winning big games historically, and Penn State has a knack for losing big games.
That's right. And they're healthier. I think they had more time to rest. And I think they've actually got, I can't remember, Penn State lost a person or two. There's something about the personnel too. I think I've got Penn State winning, but Cooper, what do you have? Boise State scares me.
I got to go with Boise State because they got the better color scheme.
Love their colors.
That's a better. All right, last game. This is where I blew mine last time. This is going to be, I think it's going to be one of the, I'm going to pick this as the two teams, the 2 games, Texas, Arizona State. I think it's going to be the best. I don't know. They're all going to be great. But Notre Dame versus Georgia, Case. By the way, I'm going to get to watch a ton of these with Casey this weekend. I'm flying to Atlanta tomorrow, and we're watching football from Friday when he gets off till Sunday night when I fly out.
I'm very excited.
I am going to sneak church in Sunday morning real quick, Casey.
All right.
Notre Dame, Georgia.
Okay. Man, I think that's going to be a good game, like a really good game, just because I'm here in Georgia right now, and I know I got a lot of people here pulling for them. I want to say Georgia's going to pull it off, but I think Notre Dame could do it too. But so I guess let's say Georgia.
I say very committed.
Sorry, Georgia. I'm a good fence sitter.
Very committed.
Georgia. Okay.
I think Notre Dame because Georgia's quarterback's not there.
But he has played really poorly this year, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think because he's not there, that's going to force him to hand the ball off more. And I think Georgia's big hosses up front are. I Notre Dame's good, and their offensive line's scary, but I think Georgia. I'm picking Georgia.
How about you, Coop?
Got to be Georgia.
Yeah,
you told me that.
I picked Georgia. Yeah, I got to go to the championship game.
Yeah, and you told me that their coach is really good at helping them feel like it's us against the world and just really ramping them up, and I think they're going to come out swinging.
I think he's a good in-game coach too, but might have more opinion on that. But I think he's tricky, man. He's
as good as they come, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. I like that, Dad.
How'd I do?
That's great. That's really cool.
All right, so I do have one question, Coop. Christmas.
You're champion.
It's going to be the number one ad. Now, this, you know how who knows? This is like saying the number one fashion model of the year. But the number one ad that I went back and I did research on this for you. The top ad is played the most. It's had the highest approval since 1989, the top Christmas ad. I'm going to give you 3 choices. I'm basically giving you 3 products because I can't really it's more of a general ad campaign, but there's one ad in those that just dominates. It's hilarious. All right, first one. This is all Christmas ads since '89. Budweiser and the Budweiser horses, when they do their cool thing in the winter. That's number one. Number two, Hershey's red and green. We did Hershey's last week. Red and green kisses, where they play We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Yeah. The last one is Coke and the Polar Bears, the whole genre of Christmas ones for that. So of those three, which is number one?
Well,
And I say number one by the ad age, by some big
are you
ad
saying
thing.
like the top brands, or is there
No,
like a
the
specific
top from
commercial?
these ads, these commercials?
There's like one commercial.
Yeah.
Or campaign. Well, it's either Budweiser or Coke. Since 1989, I gotta give it to Budweiser with their horses. I think that's my answer.
You said Bud or Coke. It's Hershey's Red.
Really?
They've been played more than They came out in '89. They dominated total views, showings, feedback. They ranked crazy high. Isn't that fun?
Well, if I have any ad friends listening, make sure to fact check my dad and make sure I'm not wrong. On that.
I told you, you gotta, I'll show them my source, but my source is not me. My source is online on some crazy. I looked at like 3 different, try to find rankings for you.
Google AI summary results.
Right.
Hey, they work.
At least give you something. I give you something to combat me on. That's fine.
I'm just being a sore loser. You got me good. Dang.
Well,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. That was really fun, everybody. Hopefully next time we'll be able to get the whole group chat together. CJ, it was an honor to have you. Can't wait to publish your episode. And everybody, let's sign off.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. See you, Dad.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
SportSense.